What's going on, YouTube family? It's your boy Big Mag. We're coming at you today. We're talking about the topic for today is Russ Do Not Sleep. Russ Do Not Sleep. I know that's like a rock and roll song, but Russ does not sleep. That's the topic for today. When purchasing a vehicle, okay, you're looking at buying something for the little project you're trying to put it together. All right, that's very well and fine. And you're not looking at the particulars of the vehicle. You're saying, okay, certain things can be replaced and certain things can't be replaced. And when you're looking at these older vehicles, you got to know what you're doing. Certain places just notorious for rust, like quarter panels down right up in there. That section right there, that quarter panel area, that area there is notorious on that vehicle for having rust because the trunk start leaking into the corners, and then you start having water build up and the rust kind of come through. But now when you look at rust all down the body line, so you have to put patch panels all through the vehicle, I would say if it takes you to spend an extra $3,000 or $4,000 to get something rust free, is worth it, because the time that it's going to take to find the parts, the rusted out door, rusted out quarters, all that stuff, time is going to consume time, and time is what? Money. So, and then if you ever look at a vehicle and you say the pillars, like the part where the frame of the windshield, that area right there, if it's rust down alongside of that, and it's like it's gonna puff all apart, that pillar is gonna be hard to replace that. So you got to look at all your little rust issues. Superficial things like a little bubbling of rust here and there, that's no fun. That's not bad. I mean, a fender or something like that, that's cool. That's not a problem. But when you look at overall the structural part, not the tin parts, like your frame rusted, and it's showing, I call it Swiss cheesing, and it's showing where it's done got weak, and now you trying to patch this frame up, and then now when you put the car up, it's folded on itself because the frame ain't solid anymore. You got to look at those things. Rust in an old school is like, it's called it cancer for a reason, because once it's there, you can get rid of it, but it's going to come back. Some shape or form is going to come back. And that's the one of the discouraging aspects of having an old school for some people. Whereas if you buy something, say I bought this car up north, but it was kept in the garage, so it was, structurally it's fine. But when you get into the point where the shop mounts and everything, the on the body where the extensions goes at on top of that ring end where it connects onto the body, that's rusted out. Now you have to replace all that. Those are structural issues. You don't want to go down that avenue. Take your time, find you something that's going to be structurally sound. I would say, like, if you don't even think about rust or tarnishing and stuff like that, like these bumpers, your bumpers go bad. Okay, you got to buy a whole nother bumper. Or rechroming something, or you can't fix it because then the rust will come through the bumper, so you got to go buy another bumper. That's sometimes like $2,000 to $1,000 situation per bumper. It's $1,000 per bumper to get them rechrome or fixed and everything. So you got to add that stuff up. That's why I say sometimes you have to be patient and wait for that right one. Some people don't care. Some people can, they'll bundle it out and keep on going. Like, I'm not gonna have it forever. It don't matter. I'm just trying to make a statement right now and move on. But if you're building something that you're trying to have for a long time, buy right. Because rust do not sleep. It does not sleep. It'll come if you got to treat it. You got to knock that thing out. Especially if rust is the only reason I would have to say a frame off is now a necessity. A frame now it's a necessity because you got to really see what you got to do. You got to get that sand blasted, get all the weak points out so you can see what's going on. Because if you're trying to put a lot of money on one of these things, anyone, even my 67, any of these things, that rust it'll take over. You can paint over it, you can sand it down and do all that all those chemicals and stuff. It's gonna come back. So sometimes it's just best. Sometimes it's best to place metal with metal and make sure that you structurally sound when putting your money in these things. And sometimes things happen. You dig in them and you start seeing stuff that you didn't see. But that rust is most definitely your enemy in the old school cars. Let me see what else I would say. That's it. That's my spiel on rust. I'm really not into buying rusty projects at all. Like it turns me off. I don't care if it's how good is the price. I see stuff all the time with good deals, and it's like you start seeing bubbling, deep bubbling, going down that panel all the way down to the back. So you cut that out, or what you gonna do? You're gonna replace that. So now look here, I gotta buy a door, a fender, a quarter, skim all that, get all that straight. Now you going up down Money Avenue. But now if it's just something you want, I know like the 71s Impalas are sought after, and sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do if that's what you want, and you have to take on that extra dollar to get what you want. And I don't have no problem with that at all. But I'm the type guy, I'm just a rust going into the shop and have to take root. Cause when you take one thing about it, if you buy a rusty car, you got to frame off it. There's so many things that you don't see that treating the rust is going to cause. Cause once you take it apart, you might as well rewire it. That cost all that's it's now you're into a big boy project. This little boy project, these cars, the things I have are these are babies. You don't have to go that deep into them to get them right. You have to go into that, you have to go into that back pocket and pull that dollar out. Most definitely, you have to be cognizant of what you're doing. But if the money ain't a thing, man, grab that sucker out the mud and let's ride. It's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, I think certain vehicles, it's like now my spiel about rust and certain vehicles, I can see a certain level of a car that I would go that route with. But now I think these things are still kind of around, so you can just be patient and something will fall in your lap. Even though the price is up, it still can kind of bypass going that frame off route. Cause I'm not saying I could tell when something been framed off, and I could tell when something just been clean. But most of the time, if you take your time and clean that rails and do all that, you really couldn't tell. I mean, somebody changed the body mounts and do little stuff. You have to ask if it's been framed off, because once you get out the engine bay under the car, that's it. If it's on the ground, you're really not gonna see the difference. But hey, that's my spiel on rust. Rust hey man, that's your enemy. That's your enemy when it comes down to the old vehicles, man. So that's it, man. You catch me on Facebook and Instagram at Chevy Kings _ on Instagram, Chevy Kings _ and on Facebook, got a Facebook group, Chevy Kings, just Chevy Kings. You'll see, I have my emblem there with the lion in the middle and the Chevrolet sign up top. Come and check us out. We got it's a baby group, it's a small group of people, but it's some notable individuals in there that can get you right and set you in the right path to get what you need to get done. And I'm always lurking on there. I'm always, around, and if I have some 2 cents, if not telling anybody what to do or whatever, you have anything like that. But I just don't mind giving my setting you on the right path, but with respect. Let's see. That's it, man. How you eat that elephant, man? You eat that elephant one bite at a time. You can put that in your life. You can put that in anything, from any type of obstacles, any type of adversity. You just have to grind through it and take your time especially coming with these things here. Take your time and do it the right way. Y'all have a good one.